I have 3 new palettes from Beauty Bay, and they're all very interesting in their own way. Let's talk about them. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. So I'm coming to you with let's talk about makeup, let's do it, review on the 3 new, I don't know if they're not that new actually anymore, but new to me, Beauty Bay palettes that were released. We have the Rich palette, the Neutral palette, and the Smokey palette. Let's get some logistics out of the way. So these are 42 color palettes. However, it took me a while to get them because the Rich one was out of, excuse me, released and was out of stock for a while. But what I thought was interesting, because I got tired of like waiting, the combo where you get the 42 pan palette and then the 16 color palette were all in stock. So, and they were on sale for less than what me just buying the single palette would be. So I just bought all 3 duos. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I have the 42 color palette of each of the palettes, as well as their 16 pan little sister, and we're going to talk about them. I'm super excited. I'm going to link a video down below where I did my favorite Beauty Bay palettes. Beauty Bay makes some of my favorite palettes in my entire collection. Beauty Bay is one of those brands where I hope a lot of people don't catch on. I really hope it doesn't become mainstream in America, because that means the prices are going to go up and maybe the quality goes down. I don't want that. They're affordable. They have raised their prices, but they always have a sale, and I've never paid the listed full retail price that's on the Beauty Bay website for these palettes. Right now, these palettes are listed at $39.50 a piece, with the smaller ones being, I forgot, around $18 to $23-ish. But it's always slashed out and then a lower price is put there. So like Beauty Bay, I think my first Beauty Bay palettes were around $25. That was the cost of them. And that's probably how much I paid for them now, even though it always says like $39. Like, they're always on sale. Does that so yeah, I have a lot of Beauty Bay palettes, and I did a video explaining, you know, all of them, my favorites and things like that. And yeah, so these 3, we have the Smokey, the Neutral, and the Rich. Did I get all the logistics out of the way? I think I did get all the logistics out of the way, and they're all pretty unique and different than what I have in my collection, and so I'm super excited to share. And I've worn all of them on the eyes. I've worn all of them, so I can talk about it. Beauty Bay's quality is top tier. The mattes are deep and rich, not all deep in tone, but just like deep in opacity. They are not, I would say the mattes are not beginner friendly palettes. Like they take, it's a lot of pigment, and it takes a little bit of skill to blend them out, diffuse them out. However, you're getting a lot of shadows in these large palettes for the cost. And this is with all of them across the board. So you find a color scheme you like, the quality is consistent. I have not met a Beauty Bay palette where the quality was lacking. Okay, your color families might not be your cup of tea, but all across the board, and there's no exception with these new ones that I have here. Okay, so let's open them up. I know you like, girl, get to it. I'm gonna open them up, and I'm going to, yeah. So here is the 42 color, the Neutral palette. At first I was like, do I have this one? No, I have the, what is it called? Nude? Yeah, they have a nude. This is Neutral. And this is Neutral in both, what was I about to say? Called undertone? Let me just, it's been a long day. It's hot. Bear with me. This is the Neutral palette. This is the neutral shades that you have. So neutral in tone, you have a little bit of warmth and a little bit of cool, but overall it does lean neutral. There is no super bright pops of color, so it's neutral in color family as well as undertones of the shades. Does that make sense? And you have 2 rows of, most Beauty Bay palettes are like this. You get the top 2 rows are matte shades. Then you have the next 2 usually have most of your shimmers and metallics and glitter shades. And then the bottom has a couple sprinkled, but the bottom is usually your deeper mattes as well. So that's the neutral palette. You have a nice plum in there. This is like one of my favorite shades in this palette. And then I'm going to show you the 16 color counterpart, because if you're someone that gets overwhelmed by a lot of shades, they make these color families in smaller palettes, and I think they make them in 9. I don't know if every one of their 42 comes in 9 pan, but I think every one of their 42 comes in at least 16 pan. So you get those color families in a little bit smaller, more digestible size palette. But I think it's interesting to note what shades they choose to put in and choose to leave out. That's something that when you're talking about Beauty Bay, at least when I'm thinking about Beauty Bay, it's something that I'm interested in discussing, because decisions have to be made. To cut 42 down to 16, less than half, things are on the chopping block. So here's the neutral, where are we? The neutral 16 pan palette, and I'm going to hold them up side by side with the we're going to get my feelings later about them, but here they are side by side, the 16 and the 42. In the 16 you get the black. You don't get very many mid-tone shades in here. That's what I'll just go with. We'll start there. You lose a lot of those richer shades that if you're, darker skin, they're sacrificing those in the 16, if that makes sense. So you're not getting like this section at all in this palette, with the neutral palette. All right. Something to note. Okay, let's get into the Smokey palette. Also, I want to let you know, on Beauty Bay's website, I use their app, the Smokey palette, whoever did the editing on that photo, it really makes it look super dark. Makes it look all dark, when in reality, they look like this. The shades are distinctive from one another. I feel like that picture is not accurate. So this is the Smokey palette. Cool smoky tones. If you are a smoky eye lover, the silvers and blacks, you got 3 really deep black type shades in here, which I think is wonderful, because it's a smoky palette. So this, if you're like smoky eyes, that black you're probably going to run out of the fastest. Beautiful metallic silvers, cool tones like denim blues, a lot of cool tones in this one. That is the Smokey palette. And here is the 16 Smokey. Let me show ya. Here's the 16 Smokey. Again, with the neutral one, I feel I don't like this one. I feel as though, I said we'll get into my feelings later. I'll wait. I will get into my feelings later. But there's a lot missing, like the chopping block. Just forewarning. You can guess how I feel. And then the last one is the rich one. The one I really, really wanted. And because I love Beauty Bay, and I was like, okay, add into the collection, I got the other 2. But this is the rich. This is the rich palette. Ready? Look how beautiful that is. Rich tones. Perfect description with these deep brick shades. Warm neutrals at the top. Even rich is the perfect descriptor. Richer. You got a plum in here. Pinky. Again, brick, rosy tones. Dusty roses, mauves, that kind of thing. Really rich. And then you have the 16. This is probably the best 16, also because this is my favorite palette, but I just think it's a little bit more balanced than the other ones, the other small ones. So that is the rich duo. Okay, let's talk about the palettes, and we'll go back to the beginning. Let's do the neutral and smoky first, because both of these, I would say, are outside of my comfort zone of palettes. I'm going to tell you straight up, if I saw this palette in a store, I'm not buying it. I bought these duos because I wanted the palettes, and the duos were cheaper than the single palette, and they were in stock. Let's just get that out of the way. So I'll probably give these away to maybe my mom or friends or something because I don't need both. But this, I wouldn't buy it. It's boring. It's boring, but it is neutral. The word is neutral. Let me be clear. It's neutral. It matches what's described. But in terms for my skin tone, yes, I have depth. Don't get me wrong. I have depth. I did some beautiful looks with this. I've worn all of these palettes. I'm wearing makeup 6 days a week. Y'all proud of me? I'm wearing makeup 6 days a week. So I've been wearing some shit. Okay. It has some depth. You have the black in there, but the shades are just boring. They're pretty. Beauty-based quality is topped here. They're gorgeous shades, but this combination in a palette is just very boring to me. Also, with that being said, I am definitely a warm toned person with my neutrals, with my smoky eyes. I am a brown smoky eye all the way type of girl. Love my warm tones. I said this plenty of times on this channel. I'll wear cool tones. I'll try cool tones, but you can tell that they are not my comfort zone. I don't really like them on my skin very much unless it's like bright. If we get into bright colored looks, I'll do my blues and my purples. Like, yeah, I'm into that. But if it's just supposed to be a classic glam type of look, just everyday makeup, whatever, I'm not reaching for cool tones. They just don't, like an easy breezy look, I'm not going for cool tones because I just don't think they complement me well and I have to work harder at it. With this neutral palette, this was also a challenge because it's not like everything in here is super cool. Everything in here is not super warm. Again, it's a neutral palette, and so it challenged me when it was time to complement shades and what shades work well with each other within this palette. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like these two, like this cool shade and this like richer red, for example. It's like how I'm working with that. Like I'll pull it off and I'll figure it out, but it causes me to think a little bit. And I do appreciate that in the palette because I have a lot of eyeshadow. I've tried a lot of eyeshadow. I know what I like. I know what I can do well. So when I get presented with a challenge, it is very exciting. But it also leads me to necessarily not like this palette as much as others, you know, because I have to work a little bit harder at it. But I do think that this is a great idea, and if you love neutral tones, I think the depth here is great for all skin tones. What was I about to say? Yeah, it's great for all skin tones. I think it's a good range of shades. The quality, again, let me show you these mattes, top notch. That rich, like, I mean, wonderful. Oh, did I move the camera? I'm still moving it. Get yourself together, girl. All I want to do is take my makeup off and get in the shower. And it's coming. It's coming once I get through this video. So it does challenge me, and if you're someone like me, you've been watching me for a while, you have similar makeup tastes as I do, it will challenge you as well. With that being said, out of the two, even though this one's bigger and it might be overwhelming to some, I am going to choose this one over the small one because one, I get more shades, but I get all the shades, and it's just I don't think this was the best for me. This is not the best choice of 16 shades to pull from this. Okay? My mother is lighter in complexion than I am, so this will probably be a little bit better for her. But yeah. But this is very interesting. I'm really excited that I have it. And the shades in here are beautiful, and it does challenge me. And so I'm going to keep using it. I love the neutrals. I do. I love the matte neutrals up here. So this one, you know, scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 6, 6.5. In terms of just my personal taste with that one. So maybe a 7. Maybe a 7. Maybe a 7. That was no. Let's get into the smoky palette. So I do appreciate a good smoky eye. I'm more of a, as I've gotten older and just grown in my makeup journey, I do love a brown smoky eye more than just a classic black silver smoky eye. I like golds instead of silvers and warm tones that we just talked about instead of cool tones. But I do appreciate a good smoky eye, and to have a full 42 color smoky palette, Beauty Bay. If anybody's doing it, it's Beauty Bay. they like love that I have this in my collection. My mom would really love this. She loves a good black silver smoky eye. I can't really say anything bad about it in terms of just what they chose to put in, the tones, how cool it is. I can't really complain about it. It's not my full comfort zone, but I have been enjoying stepping out of it, getting into this palette. I did a look with like the gray, with the grays and this like denim blue. Oh, super cute. So I think this palette is probably the best cool tone smoky theme palette that I own now, especially with all the shades. And it's challenging me as well. I will say I am more excited about the looks I've come up with using the smoky than I am about the neutral. Alright, and then with the 16 pan smoky palette, I really wish we had a brown. I do. I wish we had like one or two browns. I know space is at a premium, but again, I just don't feel like they chose the best to portray a smoky palette. You got two deep black, deep shades in here. Tuxedo is more of like a deep, almost has a hint of blue, hint of indigo, but like, yeah, it's a very, very faint difference. This has a hint of indigo in it. Very faint difference in those two. Yeah, that's kind of meh, you know. But if you like a good smoky eye, if that's kind of your go-to, the cool tones, the metallics are probably the best. Out of the three palettes, the 2 rows of metallics that they throw in the middle, these are probably my favorite, even though they're mostly cool. They're just super, super shiny. Super shiny, super, yeah, absolutely fun. They're so fun to play with. So fun. I'm going to link them all down below, and I'm going to link the video of where I talk about my favorite Beauty Bay palettes. This is the first time you heard about this brand, or you're interested. They have so many different palettes, and they're releasing things not too much where it overwhelms you, but enough to keep you in the loop, enough where you don't forget about Beauty Bay, but not too much like ColourPop where you get overwhelmed. You know, I'm still excited about each new palette tease, each new palette release. I like that. Okay, so we have the smoky. Now let's get into the rich. I will admit the rich is my favorite because it's my jam. But it's also, I mean, not super unique in terms of we see palettes like this. These are the hot shades, but we gotta talk about it. These 2 rows of warmth, everything so deep and rich with the golds and the pinks in the, oh my goodness, absolutely beautiful. I did a nice like sunset-y type look with this the other day. I think it was Tuesday. I don't remember. Days don't matter to me anymore. But oh, I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun with this. Look at that purple. Let's do this like pinky one. Ooh, look at that. Look at the tones in here. Look at the tones in here. Absolutely gorgeous. With the 16 pan, because I like this color scheme the best, I'm going to rank it the best out of the 3, but it's still not all of the colors I would have chose, okay? It is a little bit, it's the best. It is a little bit more forgiving because these colors, you got like 4 tones in here that are similar. It's a little bit more similar in terms of the mattes here, so you can kind of get away with it. What's the name of that? Crown. I like Crown. I'm sorry, I'm looking at both palettes at the same time. I like Crown in there, but I wish they had, where is it? More of a lighter shade for like brow highlight, like a lighter matte. I wish it had like one of these in there because there's no light matte shade in here. I mean, it is called a rich palette, but like this is the lightest matte, and that's not a brow highlight for me. And so it's the best out of the 3. But again, that chopping block, I really want to know. I want to be in the room when they figure out what shades to cut. I don't know. Do they design the 16 pan palette first and then make all the extra shades? I don't think so. I think they design and figure out the shades that are going in the larger palette. That would make the most sense. And then pick from that. That would make the most sense. I don't know. I don't know. But all the looks have been bomb. I mean, I'm just going to keep repeating myself on how much I love it and how great. And deeper skin tones. This is your palette. And the smoky one too. Because you can't get deeper than black in terms of shadows if you want a smoky eye and things like that. But if you're brown and you want rich tones that complement that rich brown skin, baby, they did a great job. They did a great job. Now, do I love this one more than the nude palette I have from Beauty Bay? With all those browns in it. I don't know. I don't know. But it is up there. And I'm really excited that I have all three of these. I don't know if there's anything else I need to mention. I talked about the price. I talked about the smaller palettes. Yeah, and these are still in my rotation. I will film a video. Like, they're still just sitting on my new thing. So next Get Ready With Me, I'll use one and things like that. You'll see them for a while. They're not going anywhere right now in terms of from the new area, but I wanted to share with you my thoughts and chat about them. Yeah. So we have the Rich, the Smoky, and the Neutral palette, eyeshadow palettes from Beauty Bay. Let me know what you think about them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you gotta say anything, questions, comments, concerns, y'all know the spiel I say. Leave it down below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye!